So I have this very real problem where I can't seem to review the Xbox Series X. But dang it, we're going to talk about it before this year's over. Alright, welcome to My Tech Setup. If you're new, if you're not new, welcome back. This is a channel where I talk about things that I have around the house sometimes. One of those things is the Xbox Series X, and I've been saying for months and months, I'm like, look, I'm working on a review. And then every time I try to do a review, I can't because it's such a difficult system to really review. Because usually I would do an unboxing video, and then a few weeks later I would do like a first impressions of the system. But this case, it's been months and I've been procrastinating about it. And I'm not even writing this review. I'm really just going off the cuff. I'm going to give you my feelings and my thoughts on the Xbox and the PS5. Because really, I just found it hard to even talk about the Xbox without talking about the PS5. And that's because when I bought the Xbox, which I was kind of on the fence about buying, like, I'm going to be honest, I bought the Xbox because it was available. I had a chance to get it, and I was like, I might not get another chance for a long time if I don't get it, so I'm going to get it. But I was really still in the honeymoon phase with the PS5 when I got it. And I would say right off the bat that the PS5 makes a great first impression. You got the new controller with the haptic triggers, is exciting. You got Astro's Playroom that really showcases the controller. Plus, I really didn't play a lot of games towards the end of the PS4 life cycle, so I hopped right into Spider-Man Remastered, beat that, hopped into Miles Morales, played some Sackboy Big Adventure. I didn't think it was that good. I'm a Little Big Planet fan, but that game was just like, I just felt like the gameplay wasn't strong enough for it to be like a full adventure game by itself. I don't know why I like Little Big Planet single player, but I didn't really enjoy Sackboy's Big Adventure. I don't know. Then I also went ahead and took on Final Fantasy VII Remake once they released the PS5 version of that. So I was kind of going through these games. And for me, that's a lot of games. I really don't play that many games, but I was really like in my honeymoon phase with PS5. So got the Xbox, did my unboxing video. I hooked it up, and then at first I was just like, oh, well, this feels just like the Xbox One. I came from the Xbox One X. I actually won the Taco Bell one if you've seen that video. But yeah, just hooking it up, like, first impressions, I was like, this feels the same. And that was kind of off the bat, like, a little bit disappointing. And it's nothing against Microsoft. I know why they did that, because they already had a decent UI. It's not my favorite UI. I do think it's better than the PS5's, but it's not my favorite in the world. But it works. And so that's where I spent my first month with the Xbox, was just not playing it, because I was still playing the PS5. Xbox really had no exclusives. I was playing all the Game Pass stuff on PC. I already was subscribed to Game Pass, but I was playing most of it on PC. And I was like, you know what? I'm happy with everything that I have right now. But once I finished Final Fantasy VII, there wasn't really anything else I wanted to play on the PS5. And then I was kind of done with it. Like, it made a great first impression, but it's probably been like 4 or 5 months since I've really extensively played anything on it. And then that's when I kind of switched over to the Xbox, but not fully. With the Xbox, I realized it's hard to review because, for me, the Xbox is just a piece of the puzzle. And I know this is going to sound like the whole Microsoft sales pitch, but really, like, that's what my ecosystem is. It's a piece of the puzzle because I play things on PC, on Game Pass, and then sometimes I play them streaming on mobile. I mean, not that often anymore because I'm working from home again, but there was a good 7-month period where I wasn't working from home. So, like, for instance, the game 12 Minutes, which was... But that game, I actually played mostly on my phone because I was at work and, you know, I'd be on breaks and stuff, and I would just be playing 12 Minutes. And it worked well. I mean, it's not good enough. Like, I wouldn't play Halo up there. Like, I tried playing Halo up there, but it was a bit too laggy for me. But something like 12 Minutes, you can play on mobile. And the cool thing was I'd go home on my computer or I'd go home on the Xbox, and then my save was already there. Same thing with Halo Infinite. I've been playing it on my PC mostly, but I still want to go downstairs and play it on the OLED with 120 hertz, which is real nice. The game runs amazing on the Series X. Of course, it should. It's a first-party exclusive. I would hope that it does. But that's just another part of the story. It's not even the same experience really as playing the PS5. To play the PS5, I'm going there to play specific games that I can only play on that system, and I'm only playing it on that system. Whereas with the Xbox, it's just kind of a part of the ecosystem. It's kind of genius on Microsoft's part because, I already have a PC, I already have a phone, and then I have Game Pass, so I'm just taking advantage of having these extra services. And that's kind of the story that Microsoft's building here. Like, yeah, they really haven't had a lot of exclusives, but there's a lot of stuff that you get with Game Pass that kind of makes the system worth it. Like, for instance, Jeff hasn't touched the PS5 at all since we've had it, but he's been playing UFC, I can't remember if it was UFC 3 on Game Pass, just on the Xbox randomly, like for hours and hours. Like, we both have just found stuff on Game Pass, so we'll just sit there and play. And I think that's the long game. So if I'm looking at it now, knowing what I know now, and I had to pick one system, for me, it would probably be the Xbox. And that's because it's just so integrated into everything else that I do. And there's so many games that you get on Game Pass. Like, they added Hades to Game Pass. I've been playing the crap out of Hades on Switch. It sucks that the saves don't transfer over, but that's a whole different story. But still, there's like a lot of good games, like a lot of stuff that I would have played anyway. Forza Horizon just came out. Like, there's good games on Game Pass, and not just Microsoft games. It's really hard to beat. That's why Sony, of course, is rumored to be making their own subscription service, but we'll see what they offer, because I don't really think they're going to do day-and-date releases for their first-party games, in my opinion. Like I said, their first-party games are just on a different level. It's like prestige single-player games, so I just don't know if they would want to put that on this subscription service. I think that they'll probably do that for older releases, but I don't think they'll have, like, day-and-date new releases on their subscription service, because their games are kind of different than Microsoft. Their strategy is a little bit different. Both their systems are very similar gameplay-wise. I know technically the Xbox is a little bit more powerful, but I mean, you really know it. If I was playing both of them side by side, I wouldn't probably notice a difference. I will say the games that were optimized for the PS5, like their exclusives, probably are the best running games that I've played, as far as the load times and everything kind of being a seamless experience, because they're kind of built from the ground up for that system. I haven't really played any Xbox game that's on like the level of like a Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Returnal, as well, as far as like the seamless loads. The loads on the Xbox generally have been a little bit slower from my experience, but I think that's more of like a game optimization thing. I know Sony's storage is technically faster, but I still think that it's just the games that they're showcasing off the bat are more optimized. And like I said, Sony, from that initial impression, really did win me over. And I don't personally think you could go wrong with either system. I just think it depends on what you want. Like, if you don't plan on subscribing to Game Pass, that does kind of take a lot of the value of the Xbox away. Like, if you were just buying it for just their exclusives, it's kind of difficult to say right now, because they do have Bethesda now and a bunch of other studios that they bought. So there could be some games in the future, especially if you like, Skyrim, those type of games, that you might want to play on the Xbox. But with PlayStation, they have some well-known franchises that they're going to put games out for. So it's really two completely different experiences. Overall, I just want to say Microsoft really has turned it around this generation. And these are things that they were already building last generation. So me coming from like an Xbox One X and already being a Game Pass subscriber, I didn't really appreciate the value. And I got that new hardware and I was like, oh, even these older games run so much better. And then you got backwards compatibility on top of that. So even though they don't have as many exclusives, they still have a massive library because of backwards compatibility as well. The other thing is, with the Xbox, that's kind of turned around my experience too, is I just had way less issues with the Xbox than with the PS5. The biggest issue with the PS5 for me has been this thing, whereas if I leave it in rest mode for a couple of weeks, I'll turn it on with the controller and it'll turn on, and then the controller won't sync with it, so it'll turn off. And then I have to hold the power button, kind of do a hard reset to get it to work, or a power cycle, like unplug it and plug it back in, and then it'll just start working again, like pair it back with the controller and all that stuff. So it's just really dumb. It doesn't even work if you plug it directly into the system. It's like this weird bug, and I've kind of experienced since I first got the system. The other thing is, Sony, please bring back the ability to just hold the power button to bring up the option to turn off the system. I don't know why you took that away. That's stupid. It's really dumb. The other thing I like about the Xbox is smart delivery, a feature which I mercilessly made fun of Microsoft for, because I was like, that's so stupid. Like, they were touting about how, like, if you download the game on a Series X, it's automatically going to give you the Series X version or the Series S, depending on what system you have. And I was like, of course. Of course. Like, why wouldn't it do that? That's stupid. Like, why are you even touting that as a feature? And then the PS5 came out and it didn't have that. And it was like you literally had to find the PS5 version of the game when you download it. And I was like, it's still stupid, but it's also stupid that Sony didn't even have that feature. So I guess points just go to Microsoft for that. Like, that was just some free points, because it's like Sony just didn't do anything. It was like, we're just going to list both of these on our store. Good luck. Pick the right one, hopefully. I know this is more of like a rambly, talky video, but I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts on the Xbox, and I couldn't really do that, or I feel that I personally couldn't do that without also talking a little bit about the PlayStation. And now that either system's bad, I definitely enjoyed the PlayStation more from the offset, and I'm enjoying the Xbox more now. And I'm just a person that kind of sways, so it might change in the future, you know, depending on the game, depending on the mood. But I'd say both systems are great. There's no wrong choice. I just kind of like the openness of the whole Xbox ecosystem, and the Play Anywhere thing is actually more than a gimmick. Like, it actually works pretty seamlessly. So that's all I got for you today. And if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to tell a friend, tell a coworker, like, share, and subscribe. And always do at least 2 things at the same time.